tonight's gonna be a little quiet night. You're more than welcome to say hi and talk to me, and I'll try to take a glance at it and then have a conversation while I'm studying. But otherwise, it's gonna be a little quiet night. I'm studying bookkeeping. I mean, I have some ideas, and it's not that I want to, take the test or anything, but here and there I have a little like questions when running my business. So I thought like when I find some time, I like go through some textbooks and try to see like if my understanding is right, or trying to learn new things. So, do you guys do any studies? I found a really cool pen. I went to Daiso today, and then I just wanted to get the mechanical pencil so that I can like erase my answers and stuff. And then I got this cool pen. It looks like a ballpoint pen, right? But it's actually pencil, and it's pencil, but you don't have to sharpen it. You can keep writing technically forever, and you can also erase with the eraser. Kind of cool, huh? I think if you go to like a legit stationery store, and then you can get like a nicer design and also like a little better version of it, but still, the only problem is like when you write something, it's little light in color, so that's the only problem. But and it's a little bit harder to erase, but still it's kind of cool. It's not that I said it wrong so that you can't chat, right? I mean, like, I'm just studying, so you know, we're not technically like talking back and forth like normally we do. But if you can just say hi, I just want to see if the chat still works. I'm gonna wait for like 10 seconds. Did I mess it up? Did I mess up the setting or something? Or is this like new? Trying to see. Oh no. I have no idea. Well, you can't chat? I didn't change the setting or anything. But no one is chatting. So I'm just wondering if I did something wrong. Ooh, okay. For some reason, I don't know why. Oh, I don't know why. I'm streaming from, what is it called? Prism Live, and then usually I can see all the chats, but somehow I cannot see the chat. Well, I can't see the chat. Aw. I'm not really liking it though. Huh, that's weird. Why I can't see the chat? Show chat view. Normally I don't have to set up anything. So I guess today, hold on, so can't really do, okay, let me set up my laptop. That might work, because I don't have data on my other phone, so it's kind of a little, it's not too easy to see the chat here. Maybe, maybe not. I want to see if I can pull up my, at least, maybe tablet. But that means I have to, oh, maybe I can do that. I changed my phone carrier, carrier, here we go. Carrier, yeah, phone carrier today. Should be better. So I'm trying to stream and connect to my phone data. I have to go to my channel. And then if I go to my live, and then somehow I have to watch my own commercial. Here we go. Now I can see the chat. Sorry. Actually, this is better too. Can I just like stop and see the chat? So I'll go back a little bit. As someone who actually was good at studying Bakugan, I'd like to know your techniques. Well, my technique will be different. Usually I take a long way, because I kind of depending on like if you want to remember what you study for long term or just want to pass the test. If you just want to pass the test, I would just like memorize the whole thing and just answer the questions, right? But if I want to memorize it in long term, then I actually would look at the answer book kind of first. So I already have like a sum of experience in bookkeeping, so like most of the terms I already know. So when I actually want to solve questions, then I would like take a look, like try solving it, and then instead of like spending 10 minutes, 20 minutes on one question, I would just go ahead and look at the answer book and then trying to figure out like if I did right or if I did wrong. If I did wrong, then I would find the reason why I did wrong. So like finding out like reasons why, then it kind of stuck in your memory. So you don't have to do the same question over and over again, but it's more like you can just remember it with one try. So I guess that's my konbanwa. It's a good thing that I can like stop the video and I can see the chat. I was worried about like I have to have two separate screens and then there's always delay, right? And it's like, but okay, cool. How normally Japanese people study? Is it same like work culture in Japan? I would say depending on what kind of school you go to, but let's stick with somewhat like moderate to high level school, like high school. Then they would study from like 8 a.m. till like 4 p.m. and then they normally have like tests on weekends. And most of the people would go to cram school after school, so which means they have club activity or something until 6-7 p.m. and then they go to cram school from like 8 to 10, and then they go home and they have to do a homework for both school and cram school. So cram school can be just once a week to like 5 days a week. So depending on like how high you are aiming and how much you can't study, so you kind of have to go to cram school to keep your grades up. But and of course there are students who don't study at all, so that's like same everywhere, right? But most of college you don't have to study in Japan. Getting into certain college is very difficult. You have to take exams and you have to study a lot and yada, and especially when you go to like higher end, right? But once you got into university, most of the time university students don't really study, because in Japan getting in is difficult but getting out is very easy. So as long as you don't do something stupid or like not showing up. I mean, in some schools you can do no show and still get a credit, because teachers don't really care either. But no, most of the time you have to go to school, right? Of course. But Yeah, not too difficult to get to graduate, get the diploma. On the other hand, North America, it's the opposite. Getting in is somewhat easy, but getting out is very difficult. You have like, we have like a lot of like exams and project, and then what is it? The North America is especially strict with plagiarism, right? Or like you cannot use Wikipedia, or you have to use only scholarly, you know, books and sites, and how to cite, and those are one of the most important things. But whereas in Japan, as long as you don't use Wikipedia, you can do whatever kind of deal. So yeah, so that's the big difference, I guess. Okay, next question. Oh, I'm studying bookkeeping, by the way. I mostly studied by myself all my life, but grade 10 to go to similar kind of tuition in India. I'm kind of a self-study person as well. Long story short, my dad is a teacher, so he didn't really like me going to cram school. He was like, well, if you pay attention to class in school, you should be able to get fine grade. And so yeah, I had to study by myself. I kind of wanted to go to cram school though. Like cram school teach you a lot more because like there are people who are studying to get into private high school or private universities, right? So they sometimes have like more difficult classes, and I always wanted to try something more difficult. But my parents were like, my mom was like, yeah, if you want to go, you can. But my dad was like, nope. Used to woke up 3 a.m. for night study before head to school. I couldn't do that. I really can't do that. I can't study early in the morning. I don't know why. I'm more like a night person, so I used to study until like midnight when I was in elementary school. Like since elementary school, like not like first grade, but like maybe like fourth grade. You're not wearing the paper on your head. What is that? Paper? Paper on my head? What is that? I have no idea. I'm trying to think what you're referring to. Does anybody has any idea? Japanese, so where did you see it? Like Japanese people wear paper on their head when they're studying? I need more information. Oh, you can hear trains? I have all the windows closed, so it's quieter than the usual. Usually, like when I was building my bed or the desk, it gets hot in here, so I just kept my windows open so it was louder. But, wee. Alright, so let's try. In cartoon? I don't really. Cartoon characters wear a paper on their head? There's no way that you can like send me like, like pictures or anything, right? I don't think the chat would. Ah! Hachimaki, thank you. Hachimaki. Yeah. Like it has like it's like a headband, right? So that's not paper, that's cloth. Yeah, that's kind of more like leaning towards cult. So I think we have less Japanese people here, so I think it's fine. I try not to offend anybody, but even for Japanese people, wearing hachimaki for the study is kind of insane. So in Japan, elementary school and junior high school, so up to 9th grade, is mandatory education. So you don't have to go to high school in Japan. Well, everybody goes because there's no job, right? However, so that means it's mandatory, so you don't have to take entrance examination to get into elementary school nor junior high school. However, there are private schools, and a lot of tiger moms and tiger dads, that's a word, parents who are very into education, they want to put their kids into those private school mostly. And in order to do so, they have to be able to study things that they never learn in school. So that's why it's kind of that's the reason why my dad didn't want me to go to cram school. So, and like they compete against each other through like throughout the year, or maybe 2-3 years even. And so like missing one point is like life and death for them. And so the Crown School teachers are absolute god kind of position from both parents and students side of view. And what the teacher said is the absolutely must. And so they have the tradition to wear the hachimaki on their head as if they are like, going to war or something like that. So yeah, we look at those people and are like, they're insane. So there are certain Turku, even in Ehime, that are known for the hachimaki tradition. So yeah, I get what you mean. Okay, next question. You can study without any music. I can't study with music. I'll start singing. I need absolute silence. I can, however, work with some like background noise. I sometimes have Netflix on, YouTube on. I think some of viewers are doing it at the moment. That I could just like have something in the background. Like it has to be something that I haven't seen before. I can't have something new, of course. Then I have to like, watch it. But yeah, so I watch so many like the same movie or same TV series so many times, but I'm not paying attention. So sometimes like, ooh, that's how it happened, or and then that's the 10th time that I watch the same show. I'm not really preparing for an exam. I just had to keep myself informed because, well, like if I want to, I can take an exam, but I don't have to because I'm not trying to get a job based on bookkeeping. However, I do my own taxes, and that's a corporate taxes. So I kind of have to know about bookkeeping in general. I do have a tax attorney, but tax attorney doesn't really do everything for me. And they do a textbook work. So you have to have, as a business owner, you have to have the like right question, and if you ask a question, they will answer for you. But if you don't know anything about how to run a business or how to bookkeep, then you don't even know what to ask, right? So and then every year law changes. So you kind of have to follow up with that. Otherwise, you'll be spending money on something that you shouldn't be spending on. And when a government makes a big change, then they usually make a big change, and then people complain about the change. Usually government doesn't do any favor for us, and they just do a favor for themselves, like so that they can have more tax increase. And so when we complain, then the government is like, okay, we will give you like a probation period. You don't, like, if you are running a small company, then you don't have to do it next year. You can do maybe 5 years later, or they will give you like many different layers to choose from. So like if you are doing this and you don't have to do that, or if you do this and you can do this, something like that. So it's better to keep yourself informed. Okay. Mm. Well, first of all, I do have a cup of tea. Um, Second of all, coffee doesn't do anything for me. I can drink a black coffee, tons of it, and I can go to bed like 5 minutes later. So. Have you solved your ID problem? That needs today's Patreon actually. I should shoot that. Thank you for the reminder. I haven't shot today's Patreon yet, so I was planning on talking about that today. Sherry Sensei, studying has inspired me to study some more kanji today. That's nice. That's great. Studying should be fun. About like studying in English or Japanese, if I have to use it in English, of course English. If I have to use it in Japanese, then Japanese. So when it comes to bookkeeping, I'm filing my tax documents in Japanese. So if I learn in English and if I know words in English, that doesn't really help me to talk with my tax attorney, which means I prefer Japanese. Mm. I did psychology and English literature for 2 years and history for my final year. I'll choose that over accounting. I thought I liked psychology. I thought I was kind of interested, and I read a couple of like popular psychology book when I was in elementary school, and that was very fascinating, right? And so I took psychology, like basic psychology, 101 or something, and I think I got B on that final exam. I think, yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe psychology is not for me. I thought. History, I don't like history at all. So I probably choose accounting over history. And English literature, I don't know. Did I take English literature? I don't think I did. I had to take British literature when I was in high school, and that was very difficult because that was very first year that I study abroad. So I could have a basic conversation in English, but then the first one of the first classes I sat down was a Shakespeare. And I'm like, what the hell is this language, right? So yeah. Being able to read and understand Japanese text or government forms in general, that would be something. Yeah, that's something that you need when you are running a business. It doesn't matter if it's Japan or some other countries, but even if you have the money to hire a like accountant or tax attorney or whatever, you kind of have to have the basic understanding. You don't have to have the license, or you don't have to be able to understand everything, but you kind of have to have some knowledge. Oh, love Shakespeare. I started to understand the, how can I say, the beauty of Shakespeare. I'm not a literature person, so still I would probably prefer reading normal, modern English text over Shakespeare. But I did a little bit of acting, like Shakespeare. Like I had a monologue, right, for audition. And then I started to understand the rhythm, and then like it's kind of like almost like a music, And depending on like how you, when it comes to play, how director directs it, even if it's the same piece, it looks a lot different. So I enjoyed one of the Shakespeare that they had in university. And around that time, I was like, oh, maybe Shakespeare is more interesting than I thought. So. But it was kind of funny because, like, I try to study as much as possible when I was in Hawaii, because that's the first time that I ever studied abroad. And I took British literature. I don't know why, because like that time that I had to pick classes and whatnot, I probably understood like 30% of what people were saying. So I think my host dad took me to the administrative office on the first day, and then they were talking, right? And then because I still that time I still belonged to a Japanese high school, because it's exchange student program. So even though I'm attending American school, it's kind of like a trade-off. So the credit that I will take in American high school will be transferred to Japanese high school eventually. And so I had a list of a subject that I had to take during that year, issued by my Japanese high school. And so I was like, I have to take this. But however, I had to take English. Okay. And then one problem that we had was Japanese. In Japan, we would have how many different subjects? 10, 11, 12 different subjects per semester. Okay. However, because we start from 8 a.m. and finish around 4, so we have like how many? 6 different subjects per day. And however, in Hawaii, I don't know about any other states, but in Hawaii, we start like 7:30 or something, a little earlier Japan. However, we finish around 1. And we only have like 4 classes, 4 classes, like 3 classes in the morning and then 1 class in the afternoon. And so the total subject that I can take were far less than ones that I was taking in Japan. And so I had to have a conversation with my teacher in Japan and say, hey, everything's different. I can only take like maybe 6 classes, whereas I was taking 12 classes in Japan. So what's your priority, right? And so they're like, okay, so like you absolutely have to take English, have to take this, that, and then they give me a list again. However, when it comes to English in Japan, we have like reading, grammar class, we have writing class, speech class, everything is different. So I think that kind of interpreted as like British literature for some reason. Yeah. so I had to suffer through it. Like, however, towards the end of the semester, because I translate every single word to Japanese, right? So the first pop quiz that I had to take, I didn't even know what pop quiz was, and then I got an F for the first day because like, there's no way that I would understand it. And then I started to learn like, oh, we have tests from whatever we read as homework. And so I went up to the teacher and say, hey, can I have the reading material a little bit in advance, because I need some time to actually read and translate and everything. And she didn't like that in the beginning. He's like, that's not fair to other students. Yeah. I was like, hey, I'm an international student. Do me a favor. And then eventually I won the argument. And so she gave me every time they have like a big reading, she gave me the assignment like weeks in advance. So I was able to study before. And I got smarter, and I was like, this is like very common material. So there are a bunch of like summary on the website, and even the translated version in Japanese. And so I started using, internet, and I just read the summary in Japanese or like, literal translation in Japanese first, and then I read the original text so that I know what's going on, which one should refer to what word and things like that. And so by the time the semester ending, like, when we have like a final exam or whatever, I have more understanding of Shakespeare, whatever we were doing. I think we were doing Macbeth or something, than any other American students I had class with. And so my homeroom teacher found it funny because I came in in school with the like minimum level of English ability to, in 2-3 months, that my American friends would come to me first thing in the morning to check like with the questions about Shakespeare, like, what does this mean? Like, what does this word mean? And like, like, how does this story goes? Yada yada yada. And then he was just like stunning and laughing. I was like, Jerry just came in from Japan, and like, you guys speak English since you guys a baby, and it's like, why are you asking questions to this poor Japanese girl? And yeah, so I thought that was really funny. So yeah, enough about Shakespeare. Okay. have a lot of earthquakes. Pretty sure we had like a small one. Let's see. I feel a little tremor. Like when I was living in Ehime, I probably feel the earthquake maybe less than 5 times a year, but since I moved to Tokyo within a month, I had like 4 or 5 earthquakes. Nothing big. One we had like a slightly big one, like Shindo 3 or something, in the middle of the night. That was a little scary, and it was like long ones. I'm like, okay, is it gonna be any bigger? But pretty sure. Oh, it's not updated yet. I'm pretty sure I felt something. Maybe not. Really? I thought that was earthquake. Maybe it's taking a little while. Anyway, what was I doing? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, it's not definitely trains because trains come and go almost every minute or two. And yeah, of course, like if you are in the like store or something under the train track, and yes, every time train come by, it shakes a little bit, but like it's more like a consistent shake because you know trains run in a consistent speed and they right. But like earthquake kind of like comes from the ground, you know. So I thought that that was like something. But at the same time, like there's a times when you feel like you had earthquake, but just like you feeling that, maybe like some kind of like a dizziness or something, and I was like, oh, I'm sure this is an earthquake, and then like everybody else around you is like just fine. So that sometimes happen too. It's the same thing, I guess. Like when since we all have phones, when it's not vibrating, you think that like, oh, somebody texted me, and then you look at your phone and like, no, right? So, yep, that's a thing. Mm-hmm. Sure, what you felt was intensity 2, magnitude 4.1 in New York. 아니? 千葉? According to Nerve and Yurikuru, I have no idea. Are those sites? Magnitude 4.5, intensity 2 is like, you don't probably feel anything. Like, in general, when it's Shindo 3, that's when you start feeling the shake. So, if it's 2, I don't have any app. I have Line that tells me when it's when the earthquake is bigger than Shindo 4. Cause like up to Shindo 3, we don't care. That's like not every day, but like that happens, right? So we start caring about Shindo and how big the earthquake is and everything like that from around Shindo 4. So my school has a policy that technically when we are hit with bigger than Shindo 4 earthquake, which happened at least 2 times in the past decade, I think, we shut down the school. Because when we have a Shindo 4 earthquake, that means there's a possibility we have even bigger, like Shindo 5 or Shindo 6 earthquake in the near future. So we don't want children in our school when that hits, right? So for precautions, we said we don't have school. But as long as I think it's as long as you have activated SIM card in your phone should ring like crazy when bigger than Shindo 4 will about to hit. So there are a couple times that my phone rings like it actually says like earthquake coming, a big earthquake's coming, please prepare, or something like that. And it goes like whoop 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 whoop, and then so everyone's phone goes off. So even if you're asleep, if you are outside, inside, doesn't matter, everyone's phone goes off. And then depending on the earthquake, but we probably get hit by the big shake about 5 to 10 seconds later, I think, depending on how far you are living from the epicenter. So, and it doesn't mean that like your location is hit by bigger than Shin 4. So it's like as long as the epicenter is going to be hit bigger than Shindo 4 earthquake, then everybody's phone nearby just goes off. So yeah, I guess like if you don't have Japanese sims, then it might not work for you. And I think depending on where you're from, but if you're not used to earthquakes, and especially when you don't speak the language here, then it's better to have the app installed, and then you know what's going on, right? So, but I had no idea that an app like that would exist. I mean, however, since I come to Tokyo, I have to keep an eye on what's going on in Ehime as well. So I actually use Line app, where Line would give me the update on a big earthquake. It's same, like, you know, as when it's bigger than Shindo 4. and I think Ehime was hit by like Shindo 4 earthquake since I moved here, and then I got the update. But it was like in mid of the night, and we didn't have any follow-ups. So like aftershock, shock, shake, for shock. I don't know. Aftershock, aftershake. Which one? Anyway, so we didn't have anything more than 12 hours. So I just like sent the text, the message to all the parents. It's like, hey, I know we had like a semi big earthquake last night, but since we have nothing, I just assume that we won't be hit by bigger earthquakes. So we're just gonna conduct the class as usual. Aftershocks, thank you. Aftershock. Oh, shake what? Huh? Aftershock. But yeah, so as long as I have line thing that to tell me, I can like set the location up to like 3 locations. So I set it to my hometown so that I can inform everyone. But otherwise, yeah. So when the I mean, like when it starts shaking, you be like, but as long as the phone doesn't go off, then it should be fine. There's a couple times that it didn't happen to me, but a couple times that everybody's phone went off, and then they prepare like, oh, big earthquake is coming, and then later they have a another alert saying like, sorry, that was a mistake, and then everybody got pissed off. But I think it's better to be like overly cautious than they made a mistake of not sending the alert and then big earthquake hit. So as really it's past 11. And then tomorrow is Monday. We can just fly by. I never been in an elevator when the earthquake happened. Even if it stops, well, we have the button, like emergency button, right? So I never be stuck in an elevator before, but I would just try that first. I'm always worried about people having surgery. So I'm like, those hospitals would have their own generator. So the power might go out for a second, but they should have the backup generator to recover from whatever. Yeah, they should have those hospitals with the operation room and everything should be more secure than any other places. And then they should keep an eye on those alerts and everything. I mean, it's still scary, but okay, what am I doing? Oh. I've been very fortunate to have been in Japan 3 times and have never been in an earthquake. Coming back in March to Osaka. Oh, cool. We'll see if the streak continues. Yeah, it's not like we have huge earthquakes every year. The last big, never mind. I was gonna say the last big, one of the biggest earthquakes that we had last was 2011. No, we just had the very big earthquake in Ishikawa Prefecture this year, so never mind. But after that, but we had Kumamoto too. Yeah. But the March 11 was definitely one of the worst. And it's not because of the earthquake, but because of the tsunami and the meltdown. How are you settling in, Sherry? Yeah, settling in pretty nice. I have made a bed. I have made a desk so I can study now and work now. I ordered we just did the, wait, was it on Instagram? I think it was on Instagram that we did a 2-hour live stream the other day for me to, while I'm online shopping for a little one-person couch because I have a little room over there and I don't know what to do with it, and I'm still haven't decided on a dining table. I mean the small one, because I probably have so much stuff on this disc, so I might want to have a peaceful meal on the fine cleaner table. We struggle a lot with the bed. It was just heavy. I got a little cabinet there. I've got a mirror so I can I can do my makeup stress free, and then check my outfit. Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I still have some issues with the ventilation system, but I actually have to complain to the landlord. I have done it, and then they sent people over, but he couldn't fix it, and it's gonna be a little small fight between me and the landlord, pretty sure, because I want him to change the whole ventilation system because it's too old. they have a dryer function and the ventilation and everything like that, and then that's not doing its job. Even the guy who came to check, he was like, yeah, probably you shouldn't use this because it's a lot noisier than it's supposed to be, and then it's basically shaking the whole ceiling, and that's not safe. It's like, okay, so that's something I can complain about, right? And so if I can't use the function that I'm paying for, then the facility that I'm paying for, then like landlord has to fix it. But I know it's gonna be very expensive for the landlord, so landlords are gonna be like, oh, as long as you can turn it on and it moves, things like that. I'm not gonna take that. So anyway, go back to study. Long time no see. just noticed that I have the exact same shirt that you're wearing, just long sleeves. Really? But you might. This is Zara. So I just wanted short sleeves. And then I found this on sale or something. Kobe is very chill, like Japan's Portland. If you want some noise, Osaka is quick train right away. If you want more culture, Kyoto is just as close. That is true, that is true. I thought like Kobe was somewhat like city enough. and then on the mainland of Honshu of Japan, and then I think Shinkansen passes by. So if you want to go to like Tokyo, Osaka, it's very easy to go, and it's also kind of safer natural disaster wise. I mean, like we had like a big earthquake, but that was a long time ago. Since then, the law for the architecture has changed, like building code has changed, and so all the constructions has been a lot stronger since then. Even if you're hit by like big earthquake, because it's faced to the Seto-Naika Inland Sea, like Ehime, they're not gonna be hit by like huge tsunami or anything. It's a little like hilly. There's only like small flat area, so either you live in a city or you live in a mountain. But yeah, I also like maybe living in Kobe could be an option. But then again, for me, it's like, if you are going to live in Kobe, then why not just like move all the way to Tokyo? Because I know more people here. So that was the easier choice for me. But I think like getting an apartment and things like that won't be as expensive as living in Tokyo. So I'll do one more and then we'll chat a bit. So I'm gonna chat a bit. I gotta take a look at the chat here and the answer here. Okay. Any questions you might have? She's almost done for today. Yes. Yes, I'm done for today. I've actually did a little bit of studying this afternoon as well. And I was like, maybe I can like do live stream with this, because like if I haven't really like thought through, because it's live, right? I can't just like, oh, I screwed up here, I'm gonna cut and edit. I can't do that. So I have to have everything set up. And yeah, so do you think it would be good for Shikoku to have a direct access to Shinkansen? I don't think so. I mean, I don't think people in Shikoku, they are very stingy. So I don't think they want to pay like Shinkansen taxes. So when a like city or prefecture welcome Shinkansen and Shinkansen Rail, I don't know if they do anything special. When they want to invite Shinkansen to their town, the people who live in that area, they have to pay extra taxes because it costs a lot to do the whole construction and everything. And so if there are many people who want to use Shinkansen, and then they are like, yeah, even if we have to pay a little bit, we gain convenience, so we want to get Shinkansen. But in Shikoku, not so many Shikoku people would do their business within Shikoku most of the time. And if they have to go to the mainland, people in Shikoku, everyone has a car. So at a certain point, in my house, in my family, everyone had a car. So I have parents and 2 brothers. And so my mom, trying to think if literally everyone had a car. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like my youngest brother, he doesn't really drive. He prefer a scooter, but he had to practice. So he got my like old car at a certain point. He barely drove, but he had it. So we have 5 cars. Crazy, right? So in that case, people want to just drive and drive on the highway rather than taking Shinkansen, because Shinkansen will be more expensive. Does your brain hurt now? No, study doesn't really hurt me. It's like you might. It might be difficult if you are studying something that you are not interested, or if you don't feel the need of it, but this is pretty much what I do every day. So for me, just like new information. And then it's better to do a little bit of study here and there, so that when I actually need to do some research, I don't have to look up words, I can like make sense of it as soon as I read a new new policy and whatnot. So just yesterday, I have to file a document that I have to turn in every year around this time, and every year they make small changes, right? So the format is always different, every year different, and it's like unemployment insurance and then like the things like that, but the percentage is always different. And then when we have like a big earthquake or something, and then they add some like extra layer of this is not tax, but like some sort of like charge, and supposed to be that to help people who suffered from the earthquake, which is fine, but like we don't know for sure that the government is actually using those money for like like, because like for the income taxes, like we are still being collected for the March 11, like 12 years ago. So like once they started it, so they're like, oh, we can collect all those taxes under the name of revitalization for those areas who suffered from the tsunami or something. Like, if the government cannot fix things after 12 years on their own, then they're doing something really bad. They're not doing their job, I think. And then they increase like consumption taxes and increase everything, and then they try to cut all the like merit of having like the spouse and children, and then not good. You hear so much about population decline in your area. I would imagine that's especially the case in Shikoku. Shikoku in villages in Shikoku, maybe, but like you guys probably already have seen Norm's like 1 million seconds adventure video, right? If you haven't, you have to. Like that's like 30-minute video, and you have to set a time and then like just watch the whole thing, okay? Like during that trip, because one, yeah, I was in Shikoku at the time, but he pretty much spent most of the time in the mountain area or near the water or somewhere that's very rural. And that is Shikoku, yes, that is. We have tons of mountains, tons of nature, we have beautiful ocean, yada yada yada. However, we do have towns, like cities. So I don't live in the mountain. And yes, if you visit those like villages who where only elderlies are living, then the population is of course declining. Remember the little island that Norm and I visited, just because we spotted while we are walking and live streaming on the Shimanami Kaido Bridge, and you're like, oh, you want to go there? We took a little boat to visit, and I didn't go through the whole like mountain. I'm not a mountain person, as you know already. But we were lucky to encounter one of the residents there, and he and then but so so it's not like island that nobody lives, right? But of course the population is declining on the island. And so, yeah, maybe that's very severe issue for those places, like top of the mountain or middle of nowhere. But like my hometown, Matsuyama, has like 500,000 population. And so we don't, yeah, maybe like little by little is declining, but not too severe. So, how's the cat I have? My cats, they're doing fine. I mean, at least 2 of them are kind of old. My oldest cat is 20 years old, so I don't know in human years how old that is. I think it's like 90 years old or something, maybe not over 100. But she had a very difficult times, like the past year or two. But somehow miraculously she got better. So she had a kidney failure. It's very common for cats, and most of the cats would have kidney failure, and then slowly they get weaker and weaker as they get older. But we do have a treatment, but the treatment has to be started early enough. But when we learn about the kidney failure, like she was like her condition was very severe. But so the vet was like, we can try these medicine, and then we can try IV, yada yada yada. However, we don't know for sure how much it's gonna work. And then it worked beautifully. So the worst time she couldn't eat by herself. She doesn't really show any emotion because she's a cat. But then the past year, she's like, she doesn't like jump around or anything, but she eats by herself. She walk around the house. So yeah. And the other cats are also kind of old, because my youngest cat is like 12, 13, 14, something like that. But they're fine. They do take medicines. Same thing. A slight kidney failure. As I said, it's very common for cats. But because we start giving the right medicines early enough, so they're fine. My mom sends me some pictures here and there. And I did live in America for 3 years total. I once lived in Hawaii, and I lived in Missouri for 2 years. So yeah, I wonder if there are any new people today. Let me know if you're new to this channel. I think the very first live stream that I did, I had got so many new people, because I can easily tell, because the questions that the people ask can be very very basic. I was like, oh, you must be new, and then blah blah blah. I can like talk about myself, but like otherwise I would like, I don't want to repeat what you guys already know, and so I try to like, you know, skip through my background stories and anything. So if you are new, just let me know, and then I can be more, you know, I can take a little more time to answer your questions. But anyway, speaking of which, it's midnight, so I guess it's good night. Tomorrow is Monday, so I gotta get up early. So thank you for joining for my study night, and I will see you guys next time.